The Los Angeles Lakers lost to the Philadelphia 76ers 104 to 118 in what was a frustrating defeat right after a set of wins by the team. This isn't strange to the Lakers as they do tend to, for no reason, just have these flat performances. In any other year, I would say to fans that it's just one game, but in a tight Western Conference with a difficult schedule in March, this loss has to hurt. We had some injuries which contributed to the loss. Tyrese Maxey also deserves credit. Some of our players who played looked sloppy and lackadaisical, but I want to focus on three things that JJ Reddick got wrong for this game. Number one, the starting lineup. JJ went back to Rui Hachimura while benching Dorian Finney-Smith. Over the last two games, Dorian Finney-Smith entered the starting lineup and you could instantly tell the difference it made. You didn't even need these past two games to show you, because in the DFS minutes, even before he went into the starting lineup, it was a no-brainer that the team performed way better while he was on the floor, especially on the defensive side of the ball. There have been reports of DFS being on a minutes restriction, but as we've seen from the previous two games, he can still start the game while being on a minutes restriction and still be effective. The key thing about having DFS in the lineup with Bron and Austin Reeves is that he provides some of the hustle and the intangibles that we need. LeBron is 40 years old. Austin Reeves isn't gifted defensively. It just makes obvious sense to have DFS with them. You can't look at a box score and see what the impact of DFS is, because a box score doesn't track things like him shutting down an offensive player, leading to them burning the shot clock. A box score doesn't show how he forces a good offensive player to pass to a weaker offensive player. A box score doesn't show him hustling for loose balls, getting deflections and steals, him being a switchable defender, and him being just one less body that the opposition offense can look to attack. You take him out of the starting lineup and you lose all of that. With AD, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves on the floor, most of Rui Hachimura's skill set becomes redundant, all the while you're losing all of the intangibles and defense that DFS brings. Rui coming off the bench, if AD or if Bron rests, gives us another scoring punch, and that is what we need. We need Rui's offensive skill set off the bench to replace Bron or Anthony Davis. What we need while LeBron, Austin Reeves are on the floor is DFS defensive skill set and intangibles. It's all about bounce. The second mistake that JJ made was bringing Bronny in. This isn't to go at Bronny, but let's be honest, he hasn't yet developed the confidence of an NBA player to earn first quarter minutes. Playing Bronny in garbage time or for short stints in a second or third quarter while we're up big is fine enough to let him build up his confidence. But dropping him into a game in the first quarter like he was a regular rotation player is not it. And after that performance, you have now just set back his confidence even further. Shake Milton was right there, and although he hasn't been playing well, he is an NBA level bench player. Cam Reddish was also right there, who's also an NBA level lower bench player, rotation player. You could see in real time the momentum change just around the time Bronny was in the game. He had a couple of turnovers. He wasn't willing to bring up the ball or be involved in the offense. He clanked a three-point attempt, and Tyrese Maxey just haunted him. You could see LeBron also tried force-feeding him, which led to a couple of turnovers. The entire momentum shifted when Bronny was in the game in the first quarter. Even with all that said, this factor shouldn't have prevented the Los Angeles Lakers from coming back into this game, because when Bronny went out, we were probably down by 6 or 7 points, which is not a too big of a lead to come back on against a Philadelphia 76ers team who are missing their two best players and also a few other rotational players. Number 3, leaning away from the defensive identity. So we already talked about benching Dorian Finney-Smith for Rui Hachimura, and we lost AD in the second quarter. We are also without Jared Vanderbilt, who is still being slowly phased back in, and we're also without Gabe Vincent, who has a knee injury. These are 3 defensively skilled players missing from the rotation. So we're already down bad defensively in terms of our rotation. What JJ Reddick does is that he compounds the situation by not playing someone like Cam Reddish, who, for all his faults, is a defensive-minded player who had done a good job on Tyrese Maxey in previous games. Cam Reddish gets buried on the bench. Meanwhile, we're having lineups with so many defensive holes to exploit. We have lineups with Jackson Hayes, Dalton Connect, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves all on the floor at the same time. Who from that group is guarding Tyrese Maxey, especially if he gets switched onto one of them? In this game, what we needed was a combination of any two of Max Christie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Cam Reddish. We needed a combination of any of these 2 players on the floor at all times. I know we're coming from a back-to-back, but Cam hadn't played any games in a while. He was fresh. Max Christie is only 21. So despite us missing some defensive players, I felt JJ Reddick doubled down on that by leaning away from the defensive identity, which had us playing well in the past few games.